Hi everyone, my name is Angie. Recently, I got myself a MX Master 3. It was released in September this year. We shifted into a new office in November, and I thought it was a good time for me to get myself a new mouse because I didn't want to tear down the system at home, but at the same time I needed a comfortable mouse that I can use on a daily basis. My colleague actually has the MX Master 2S. They have been using it for a while, they really love it, it's comfortable. It was made so that your wrist can be in a more natural position when you're using the mouse. So you may or may not have noticed in my other videos, but I have a scar on my right arm and it is affecting me when I'm doing my work on a keyboard and a mouse. So what happened was I broke my arm, so I have like a scar here. I'm not sure how well you can see, and another here. So let me find another camera for that. There you go. Here and here. So I have been having a hard time working on computers at home because the typical mouse is in a flat, your palm is facing flat down, and that actually put a strain in my arm because the rotation of my arm is now limited. Like, this is the max that my right arm can go. I can't turn it anymore. I can't turn it flat naturally. So if I were to force my arm flat, I have to turn my elbow out, and this during an extended period of time actually hurts my arm a lot. Like, it starts aching really badly. So that is actually the main reason why I decided that I'm gonna invest in the MX Master 3, because I'm usually someone who is easily content in a lot of things. My current keyboard at home is the Logitech Twilight X2000, something like that. Like one of those fancy colorful mouse you probably see in my video, you probably know what that is. Yeah, so it's a comfortable mouse back before I broke my arm. So I got the MX Master 3. So I'm gonna compare it with the 2S because I thought of buying the 2S before the 3 came out, and here in Singapore it was a price difference of I think $20. Like, do I just get a cheaper option or just pay the full price of the $169, which was the price tag of the MX2S before the 3 was released? So I saw my friend's mouse and I actually really like how the MX2S looked like. Like, it's like angular, looks very fashionable, looks comfy to use as well. So this is the MX2S and this is the MX3. I'm not going to go into specs today because it's out there on like every other site review, every other tech review websites. So I'm actually going to focus more on the user experience, and especially for someone who has an arm injury, be it you've done surgery, you've sprained your arm, you have any form of arm injury in the past and it has been affecting how you are using a mouse specifically. So I'll be focusing more on that. So first things first, I want to feature the scroll wheel function on both the MX2S and the MX3. Both actually features a max speed scroll wheel, which if you just read it off the spec sheet, you probably don't really know what it means. Typical scroll wheels have a step-by-step tactile feedback when you scroll the scroll wheel. So what it does is there's a step-by-step once, and then if you scroll it really fast, it goes into free spin mode, which supposedly has like really little resistance. And if you can see here, it's gonna take a while for it to come to a stop, and then you hear the max speed turning back into place, because currently I have both mouse set to the one with the resistance. The main difference of these two mouse in particular is how quiet the MX3 actually is. So this is the MX2, and this is if I put it into free spin. Whereas for the MX3, this is the step-by-step. And this is if I put it into free spin. Yep. The MX3 is silent. It's so quiet. I actually play with this a lot. Like I just put it into free spin mode and then I just slowly put it to a stop. It's actually quite fun to do. So this is one major big difference. And then another thing whereby if you're interested in the two mouse, you probably already noticed, is that the side buttons has been moved rather. So the MX2S has the side back and forward button basically. In the position that's like this, so one top and one bottom, which when I was trying out my friend's mouse was a little bit hard to use because you can't really differentiate which button is which, and then it's not exactly very easy to distinguish these two buttons because like so close together and the buttons are so small. So for the MX3, what they have done is that they have split up the buttons into the typical front back button you will see on any other gaming mouse or any other mouse with the side buttons actually. So this is now a lot easier to press, the front and back, and it's more intuitive as well. So you will know that, okay, this is forward, this is backward. And then the other big difference is that the side scroll wheel has now been changed as well. So the MX2S has a relatively small side scroll wheel versus the 3, which actually feels very similar to the main scroll wheel. So it makes it very easy to use. But at the same time, the side scroll wheel can be a little bit confusing because you would expect that if you are scrolling it upwards to scroll sideways, you would expect that up is towards the right, and then if you scroll it down, it's towards the left, right? But that's not necessarily the case. So the setting is a little bit different for every application, which is the most annoying part actually. Like if you standardize it throughout the entire computer, it will be much easier, right? But no. So on Google Chrome, scrolling upwards, which scrolling it towards the right, goes to the next tab, which is in your brain, it's the natural way. And then if you go on left, scroll downwards. If you scroll towards the left, it goes to the previous tab, which is correct. But if you go into any other softwares like Premiere Pro, After Effects that has to do with like timeline, and you need to go sideways with the scrubbing, scrolling up actually brings your timeline towards the left. So it's in the opposite direction of what Chrome does, which is really confusing when I first started it. And then I have to like remember, okay, up is going to previous now instead of next. So like down is what is coming up, and then yeah, it's really confusing because it's not standardized. That is my biggest peeve, I think. And then the other big part about why I decided to go for the MX3 instead of the 2S is because of the size of the mouse. So the MX2S is actually slightly bigger than the MX3 in terms of width. So I have relatively small hands, which is why I work very well with like small mechanisms and stuff, because I am able to get that precision. Tiny screw doesn't disappear in my hand. So the reason why I decided to go with the MX3 was because like after going on review sites and doing my own research, I realized that the MX3 is actually slimmer than the MX2S, and I personally felt that it will fit my hand a little bit better than the 2S. So I went for the MX3 instead, and the difference is actually quite big. This is the MX2S when I'm holding it comfortably, and I'm gonna do a freeze frame here just so you can see. And then this is the MX3, which is a lot more sideways. So my hands are now a lot more tilted because it's slimmer. So these two fingers are actually touching the mouse pad. This actually helped me a lot because my right arm is limited in its rotation. I think the proper term is pronation. So face down, I can turn my hand down flat, but it requires me to turn my elbow outwards, and then if I do this for extended periods of time, it actually hurts my arm. I've been using it for about a month now, slightly over a month. I bought it at the 11/11 sale in Singapore. There was a lot of items on sale, so I got mine during the 11/11 sale, and I've been using it almost every day actually since then. I've not had a single issue with it. Like my arm stopped aching, which is a big thing.
because it was actually really painful to do any sort of work on my computer with a mouse or even a trackpad, because the trackpad still requires your hand to be flat down to function everything properly, unless I use the side of my fingers, which makes it not so responsive. So this really helped me a lot. Other than that, both mouse are actually almost the same. There's a software called Logic Options, which you need to download and install to program and customize individual keys. So for the MX2S, if I'm not wrong, there is no pre-installed presets of button mapping that comes with the mouse, whereas for MX3 there is. So if you open Logic Options with the MX3, you actually see all the available programs that they have that already comes with pre-installed button mappings, and you can customize from there or you can stick with the default. But if I'm not wrong, the MX2S does not have this option, so you have to individually map every button to specific software if you want to. I just stick with the presets because I don't really need the extra customization function. The preset works for me. Okay, tech wise, like I said, I won't be going into too many details, but one thing that I have to mention is that the MX3 now charges in USB-C, which at this rate, a lot of things is actually moving into USB-C. If you're slightly more concerned about charging time, USB-C charges things a lot faster. So there is a fast charge on the MX3 compared to the MX2S. So you have that if you want to get this mouse. If you already own the MX2S, would you upgrade? I would think no. The MX2S by itself is a really great mouse. The MX2S by itself is a really great mouse. I don't think that you need to spend the extra $170 just to buy another mouse that is somewhat the same, but not exactly the same. So is it a worthy upgrade? I wouldn't think so. But if you are looking to get a new mouse, be it for a present, it's how many days till Christmas? It's 5 days till Christmas. So if you're looking to get a last minute present, you can find yourself a computer shop and see whether you can get your hands on one of these for a friend if they don't already have one. It's really a really great mouse to use. It's fully wireless, so it comes with a dongle if your computer does not have a built-in Bluetooth function. But otherwise, same as the MX2S, you have the option to switch quickly between 3 separate devices. And if you include the Bluetooth dongle, that's the fourth device. So if you need a last minute gift idea, this can be a really good gift. If you're looking to get a new mouse, be it your old one stopped working, or if you're like me, you have gone through an arm injury which now limits how much time you can spend on your mouse, and you're looking to get a new one that's slightly more ergonomic, this is a really great option to get. Like, I would suggest the MX3 over the MX2S if you are new to the MX Master series. But if you already have the 2S, stick with it. It's a good enough mouse for everyday use. User experience wise, I think that's about it. It's been a long year and I already can't wait for the new year to come. I have so much things that I am looking forward to getting into. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.